Welcome. I see everybody starting to head in just a second while people are getting adjusted. I see. We're just waiting for everybody to log in from their sessions. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And as we wind up what's been 3 days of just fabulousness, if that's a word, because that's all that comes to mind when I recall and reflect on the rich discussions that have taken place. I was so happy to know that we were recording these because I was like a kid in a candy shop. I couldn't make up my mind where to go. And I find myself stopping by here, stopping by there, just wanting to get a taste of everything and the wonderful work that's being done out there. I want to thank each and every one of you all for taking the time and attending and being with us over the last 3 days. And wow, I just finished a session just now, and they were talking about the importance of storytelling and highlighting life through digital stories, and what a creative way of expression through art and video. That stories are found in all matters, in all media, and story becomes above all else. And in education, I think we're helping kids to create their own stories and have been enlightened through these wonderful sessions that I know I've attended. And it's been very fulfilling, and I hope that you can walk away with the same things that I've walked away from as a result of this. Before I step to the next part, I did want to take a moment and give a sincere thanks to Synergy Enterprises, also known as the OIETA team. They play a big role, a huge role in this event production, and we couldn't have done it without you. So I appreciate all of you, Synergy, Kathleen, Sarah, Miranda, Dave, Rashad, Tracy. I can't name them all, but all of you at Synergy Enterprises, thank you so much. And a plug, if you have not yet joined us on Twitter, I'm telling you, you got to get over there at OIE Indian Ed. We are trying hard to get up to 1,000 followers soon. So please take a moment and join us over there. We have wonderful tidbits on education and everything Indian education related and beyond. So we promise you'll walk away with some nugget of information that you didn't know existed perhaps out there. At this time, I would like to ask, I have a couple of my team members here, and I did want to bring them on screen and to just give us a hello and a couple of maybe sentences or so, a couple of minutes of what you have, you could share with our attendees based on these 3 wonderful days. Angela.
Thanks, Donna. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I just want to underscore how great it's been to have Synergy support in being able to showcase a lot of the hard work that I know we see from the background and don't always get to see in the foreground what's happening with our grantees and the hard work that they produce. I ended today hearing and learning about the students that participate in a dog mushing program. And it's fabulous. It's wonderful to hear the students and to hear the kids, and to know that the work that we support from very far away is producing such great outcomes and opportunities for the students. And I did appreciate a lot of the discussion on mental health and trauma. And there's a lot of new language, frankly, that I learned that helps to really articulate a lot of the challenges that I know many of you as educators face. So I really do appreciate that time that folks spent with us today, the experts.
Thank you so much, Angela. And our other program officer, Donna Bussell.
Hi, everybody. I just want to say thank you to everyone coming in to the project directors meeting and giving your time and sharing all of your stories. I loved, I have my one-on-ones with my grantees, my NYCP grantees, but to come in and to be able to listen to your stories with the other programs was really amazing, and listening to all of the different sessions. So everyone out here is doing hard work, and we appreciate all the hard work that you're doing out there in Indian country.
Thanks, Donna. And I appreciate all of our discretionary team members. We make a small but mighty team and work hard every day to bring you the best we can of ourselves and our programs to work in Indian education. And so we are lucky to have all of them. So thanks for my team. I did, before we turn it over to Julian, I did want to see if you would take just a minute, and we want to hear just one takeaway or favorite moment or some kind of small nugget, I guess you could say, in the chat as a result of these 3 days. If you wouldn't mind, just pop over to the chat and share one takeaway, one reflection or favorite moment in the chat, if you would, for next, give us like 2 minutes. I see, yes, different pro motivation, seeing what they're doing, hearing testimonials, the hard work. Yes, motivation, inspiration, words like love. The shortest distance between two people is a story. Oh my gosh, it gave me goosebumps. I really, really believe that too. Our kids are stronger than we realize. That's right. Please continue to put them in the chat. It's heartwarming to see these reflections shared, and it brings a smile to my face. So thank you. Moving along, I would like to take this next part and share the space with my boss, the director, Julian Guerrero, and how lucky and honored we have him by our side. And with that, I will turn it over to you, Julian.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davis Burns. And for a moment there, you got me in the waterworks. I had to take a moment and just breathe and just really move into this next phase of today's closing session. But I'm looking at the audience and all of you joining us right now. We're 30 minutes until 7 p.m. Eastern time. Staff are still online with us, and I'm looking at the audience. We have well over 90 attendees still with us, going strong. I really appreciate you staying with us for today's closing session. And immediately, day 3 closing session, I did share in the discussion board this comment, and I wanted to share it here too, in case you hadn't had a chance to see this. But early this morning, when I was logging on into the portal, I was like, I do need to drop some thoughts here, and I kind of wrote half of it, then I got too busy in emails and I had to come back, but then I finished the thought and the post, and this is what I wrote. And it is both hard and not hard to believe that it's already been day 3, and so much rich content and perspectives on the incredible work that to do and that has been done since we last met last year. And the challenge you all have in front of you, and you can, I challenge you all to stay in touch with us at the OIE. Let us know your needs and how we can best support your success as a grant community and as a grantee. It's so easy to glaze through past the impact of our work in a virtual setting. You know, when you just see each other in these little boxes, you kind of lose sight of the numbers and numbers of communities of people that we impact. And I just quickly imagine those communities, we could easily fill a stadium-like audience with all the communities that we've impacted over the past 50 years and seat to seat. And without a doubt, I know that the power that each of you have as a grantee is phenomenal. And I really appreciate your effort to ensure that those project objectives are being strived towards and are being met. And certainly not to downplay how stressful that work is, but my hope is that we can continue to make it less stressful for you as a grantee with tools, and equipping you with tools and knowledge and community practices that help you meet and exceed those objectives. Your success as a grantee is truly our success as a program office. And I believe that. And I'm convinced every single one of our program officers in OIE believes that. And we really do our best to foster a culture of collaboration more than competition. And that just really, really warms me as we come to our close. So I do need to give quite a few thanks to many folks who have made this possible. Above all, thank you to our keynotes, my immediate boss, Ruth Ryder, a good friend of mine and scholar, Dr. Alex Redcorn, and then especially Tanaya Winder for today's keynote. Thank you to their presentations, their knowledge and wisdom and skills and experiences that they've shared with us. Especially thank you to you, grantees, who have showcased your community practices and programs and hard work and ideas, and really kind of stepping outside of a comfort zone and speaking your truth and walking through and showcasing the value of what it means to stand up for an Indian education community. The truth and the integrity and how much time and effort it takes to really be proud of Native culture. It takes a lot of energy to do that. And ultimately, I continue and want to share praise to those who shared during the breakouts, who were not presenters, but really engaged in the chats and in the discussion boards and the social wall, even those who competed in the social game. I didn't even make the leaderboard. So many folks who were really way ahead of me on my points for the game. But ultimately, you know, I just really appreciate that engagement, because that's truly what makes this work so much. It makes it worth it, and it makes the day go by incredibly fast. And especially a thank you to the First Americans Museum for virtually hosting us in this year's conference and this year's convening, and allowing us to use their photos as backdrops for the spaces. The First Americans Museum is located in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So if you find yourself going to the National Indian Education Association annual convention this year in October, First Americans Museum is just less than a 15-minute drive from Oklahoma City, and if that. And we had many wonderful sessions this week covering a wide range of important topics. The importance of mental health, as I've heard earlier, data sovereignty, evidence-based practices, and above all, teaching our native languages and cultures. And if I could remind you to take some time to give us some final feedback in the survey. I noticed the announcement went out about the survey. You can also get to it from our navigation tabs. You can earn 100 game points. So for those of you who are on the cusp of getting on that leaderboard, or who are still duking it out in terms of getting more points over the other, that's 100 game points. And wanted to remind attendees that all sessions over the three days have been recorded, and we will house that available on this platform for the next year. You can go back and watch any session and study and take notes, and go back and identify those resources, as well as share them with your teams. For those who weren't able to join us in this virtual convening right now, they can still benefit from the recordings in the future. Last but not least, I wanted to invite you to come join us June 23rd of this year as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Office of Indian Education. As I stated in my opening remarks on day one, 50 years of the OIE, it's kind of easy to look past and look at what we haven't done, but then also kind of remind ourselves what we have accomplished, and again, remind ourselves what is yet to be done. And I'm excited about what's possible. I think I'm well determined in making sure that these next 50 years position us, our communities, for success. And it's not just to make us, any individual, a part of our team, successful, myself included. It is to make the Office of Indian Education successful. We need the OIE to be a strong steward, a strong partner, a strong leader, a strong space for Native grantees, Native communities. That way, tribal nations can see the OIE as a partner in spaces and places where the department engages on important topics, critical topics that impact tribal sovereignty. And you're a part of that. You're a part of the history making for us. And we really appreciate it. And though it may not seem that way, because you may just be very honed in and worried about your project objectives, all of these objectives play into a greater picture here to help and support the next generation of Native excellence. And that's just so incredibly important to me. So in this next segment, we're going to keep it brief, and hopefully we can do some questions here. So I have a question for Donna, and reflect on, I believe she has a question for me too. So Donna, I will start with you, and I'll ask you a question. And I don't know if you're a Marvel Universe fan at all, watching the Marvel movies, but there's a character on there, Thanos. He's known to just snap his finger, and although he snapped it for negative reasons, we're going to think about the positive in this case. And if you had a chance to be like Thanos and you snapped your finger and you changed one thing in Indian education, what do you imagine that one thing being in Indian education? You just snap your finger and change that one thing.
That's tough, because there's lots of different things that would love to be seen to be changed. But if I could snap my fingers and give each of our students, and this may sound cheesy, but if I could give each of our students the ability to see love within, I'm going to get emotional here. That's what I would give to our kids. They need to see the strength in themselves to make their future the best it can be. Oh my gosh, sorry about that. I wasn't expecting that. But if I could just snap it and make it a better place like that, that's what I would do. Okay, Julian, I should ask you to give us like your latest dance move on camera, but I'm not going to do that.
Thank you. All of us, thank you. I'm sure
for doing that to me. Okay, so your question. If you had to fill a time capsule, or if you could fill a time capsule that would be opened up 50 years from today, what would you put in there and why?
That is a really good one. A time capsule, open it up 50 years from now. Would it be students opening the time capsule, or would it be any of us?
Good question. Students.
Students opening the time capsule. I would definitely say, I would 50 years is not much time at all. It goes by in a glimpse. But I would really find it profound and powerful for them to see themselves, a picture of themselves, and a picture of their families, who they at that age. Every single one of their ancestors at that age would be really cool to see. So like little family trees, something to that effect, because at the end of the day, and this is what I appreciate so much. You know this, Donna, is like I care a lot about the impact of a family on a person's success. And for students to open a time capsule and see themselves 50 years from when they put that photo in with their family, I think that would be powerful. It'd help no matter where they would be. Hopefully they would be in better places. But life is life. And if they're not, hopefully that would help them have a realization of all the experiences then too. So yeah, there's that. I think that's what I would do.
I think that sounds great, Jillian. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. So other than that, we've given our thanks. We've done a few questions. We've allowed OIE staff to do some reflections. And I think that the best thing we can do, again, we're 20 minutes till the top of the hour, is to give you all time back for what you have given to us in convening for 3 full days of content and richness and substance around this work. And to close on a note, please, continue to stay on top of your projects, but most of all, stay true to yourself, no matter where you are in your life at this moment. Stay true to yourself, true to Indian country. Help your students stay true to themselves, to their communities, to what drives them to be a part and drive change, positive, meaningful change. Is something I'm convinced is ingrained in them that they want to do. We all want to do. We need your skills in Indian country. We need their skills in Indian country, full of talent and passion, and that can be unleashed across our native youth, that creativity that is without a doubt living in them every waking and sleeping moment. So other than that, we will see you soon, probably at the next talking session circle, as well as any other webinars or listening sessions and even consultations in the future. So thank you again for staying in tune with us. Continue to stay in touch. Be safe, be well, be healthy, and above all, go in a good way. Sa kukamiya, my relatives, go in a good way. Thank you very much.